We will now proceed to the next debate. Please feel free to leave, Minister. Thank you very much. We will now proceed to the seventh order, policy debate on budget vote 29, agriculture, land reform, and rural development. We will therefore proceed to call upon the Minister, Honorable A.T. Diza, Minister of Agriculture and Land Reform and Rural Development, to open the debate.
Mphathi Sihlalo, malunga ahloniphekile lendlu, sekela ngqongqoshe Mamchapha, sekela ngqongqoshe Babu Skwatsha, amalunga wonke omnyango kanye neleyo minyango esisebenzisana nayo, ngibingelele kuwo wonke umuntu okhona apha endlini nalabo abasemakhaya. Chairperson, this address happens when we are in the middle of the citrus season, where one of our regions in this country, Citrus Dal, here in the Western Cape, is experiencing the impact of heavy rains that is making it impossible for the farmers to go to the fields and their pack houses. In consultation with the province, we will look at interventions that are appropriate to salvage, at best as is possible, the crops and meet the demands of the market, both locally and internationally. These rains, while welcomed, particularly in filling our dams in this province, its disruption and destruction point to the inclement weather patterns that once again remind us of the reality of climate change. Adaptation and adoption of new technologies and farming systems must become part and parcel of our planning process going forward. This year marks 47 years after the June 16 riots in Soweto and across the country, marked the braveness of our young people in confronting the apartheid government and contributing towards the liberation of our country. It is these young people whom we honor and want to emulate by ensuring that their young people of today work towards the reconstruction and development of a post-apartheid South Africa which they fought for. It is these young people who are asking for government to hold their hands in developing new industries and strengthening old ones with new innovation as well as passion. Young farmers, about 500 of them whom we met at Nasrec last Friday in partnership with Food from Mzansi and John Deere, are giving us comfort that our country's food security is secured. Obakeng, a livestock farmer in Northwest, Kabelo, the cucumber farmer from Limpopo, Jean Lechanya, a former general who is a macadamia farmer in Limpopo, Shobisile Yende in Gauteng, and Ipelecheng Hwadi Sibone in the Northwest are showing us that constructive, courageous action and revolutionary prowess of our youth to fight new challenges of today are still present. The Youth Cooperative of Young People in Marapiane, where their cooperative's name is Marapiane Bakhatla, have not only shown farming is a business, but that through farming, we can create employment in rural communities. It is these small beginnings that give us hope that today's youth are making the future that we see possible today. This budget vote also happens when parts of the world are experiencing serious economic issues, some related to the ongoing conflict in Europe and others following COVID-19 events, as well as in our country, the energy crisis. These crises point to the interdependence and interconnectedness of the global food system. Any disturbance of the system is likely to cause unforetold imbalance in the system. It is therefore important that as policymakers, legislators here, we create an enabling environment that create resilience in our food system as a country, as well as the continent. During this month of June, South Africa has been a beehive of activities hosting several global partners to advance research for development in the agricultural sector. It is in this month that South Africa hosted international events co-hosting the Federation Forum for Agricultural Research, known as FARA, the 8th Agricultural Business and Science Week in Durban. At the apex of discussions were the facilitation, coordination, and advancement of agricultural research and innovation on the African continent, which is more important, particularly now as we have to deal with issues of climate change and adaptation. The International Seed Federation hosting the World Seed Congress, which was held here in Cape Town. The Congress discussed a variety of issues relating to seeds, noting the significance of seeds towards transformation of our agri-food systems, as well as to bring them to become more efficient, inclusive, and resilient. The South African Poultry Association hosting the AVI Africa Poultry Industry in Johannesburg, which was the biggest poultry conference and exhibition in Africa. Again, this event showcased the latest in products, technologies, and services aimed at enhancing business and maximizing the profits of commercial poultry agricultural enterprises. Chairperson, allow me to reflect on the commitments we made last year in our budget vote. We indicated that through the input vouchers from the Presidential Stimulus Initiative known as PESI, the department will support subsistence farmers. I must indicate that to date, 157,000 subsistence farmers in terms of our budget allocation last year were supported. Through the Comprehensive Agricultural Support and Ilimalitima, which are conditional grants to the provinces, the department has in the past financial year supported 15,853 as well as 25,781 farmers respectively. An example in Gauteng, two red meat mobile abattoirs were supplied to 2 enterprises in Rustenburg, to Sizalo, Bonsmara, and Kalfontein, Eve's Eden Farm, for slaughtering to ensure compliance with the Meat Safety Act. In the Free State, Meponyane was assisted with 3.5 million for her vegetable and cut flower businesses, and she has created 10 permanent employment positions. Through the land development support, 83 farmers on proactive land acquisition farms were also supported. Mr. Frank Monage, a farmer in Limpopo specializing in sunflower production, was supported to 250 hectares of sunflower, and he has expanded his operation since then to 371 hectares. The Blended Finance Facility, which we are partnering with together with the IDC, has approved 20 transactions, creating 845 jobs, 30% being women-owned businesses and 10% being youth. The Blended Finance Facility with Land Bank has approved 35 transactions, with thus far creating 588 jobs, 33% of these being women-owned enterprises and 27% being young people. We're able to set up 2 demonstration facilities, as we indicated last year, for hemp production, one in Rustenburg in Northwest and the other in Roodeplaat in Gauteng. This is one lesser than we had committed in the previous budget. We're also able to issue about 397 hemp permits to those who have been successful. Market opportunities for small farmers continued to be opened at local level, supported by the department and through partnership with stakeholders such as the Department of Small Business. The task team on biosecurity, which tabled its report with recommendations and valuable insights into how we can improve our animal health system as a country, has actually enabled us to be able to look at strengthening our provincial and national environment in terms of veterinary services and animal health generally. But at the same time, given us enough room to be able to engage with Treasury on how we can implement some of those recommendations. This year, honorable members, we are tabling budget vote 29, which we hope you will support, whose overall allocation is 17.254348 billion. which actually includes transfers to the provincial departments of agriculture as per the Division of Revenue Act, as well as to our entities. This allocation for this year will enable us to implement programs that continue to address food security needs of our communities and our country, address land hunger, transform special planning, and contributes towards the development of our rural areas in partnership with other spheres of government. Chairperson, I must say that this year, we want to make a case for investment in communal areas following an analysis that we've concluded as a department in partnership with the Agricultural Marketing Council, the ANC. Through this analysis, if we restore 10% at least of the land that is in communal areas by putting it back into production, about 59 billion over and above the business as usual baseline, if everything remains the same, it's possible. This could unlock approximately 500,000 job opportunities in agriculture and related industry. It is our hope that the work that we'll be doing in this regard with provinces will indeed change the face of our rural communities. I must say, Chairperson, one of the issues that you are aware had been raised by our traditional leaders with regards to spatial planning. We have finally agreed with the National House, working with the traditional leaders to really engage them on the land use planning of their areas so that we can come out with clear data of how these lands are and how they can be put into production. We're working with our spatial spatial planning unit, and using the relevant technologies such as drones to make sure that indeed we can assist the process of land use planning in our communal areas going forward. With regards to livestock development, livestock production remains the major contributor to our GDP, and with over 50% contribution to our economy. It is also a major contributor to the 888 jobs that we have in our sector, as it was reported by State SA. However, for any of our heads to be in good shape, the issue of animal health as well as availability of vaccine is possible. Chairperson, we have deliberated on this matter and how we need to strengthen the OBP. However, we've gone beyond that, not only looking at strengthening the OBP, but also how to work with other relevant bodies in our country in order for us to be able to produce at scale the vaccines that we are needing. I must say that our registrar have done sterling work to make sure that we fast track registration where necessary. Again, with regards to the cannabis master plan, this week, government, business, labor, and civil society, and communal farmers and their traditional leaders, we are meeting in Pretoria on an Operation Phakisa Lab, where we want to resolve some of those critical areas that are affecting the development of this industry. And our view is that it is important that we must ensure that the legacy farmers who have raised their children ngokuthengisa insangu ukuze bakwazi ukuya esikoleni abangabi ekugcineni kweladi kodwa masibaqhakambise ukuthi baye phambili ngoba ngabo ngempela namanje uma sikhuluma nje ezinye zezitshalo zalomthunzi wenkukhu bazazi ukudlula thina esaba ososayensi saya nasesikoleni. When it comes to issues of market access, we will continue to engage our trading partners so that we can improve the capability of our farmers to be able to trade their goods in many markets. This month, we are hosting the Saudi Arabia and the United Kingdom veterinary authorities to assess our compliance for red meat exports to their country. Yesterday, in the National Day of the Philippines government, they actually indicated to us that yes, they've enjoyed our citrus. Now they want to look forward to us concluding agreements on table grapes as well as other stone fruits. We continue to host such initiatives in order to make sure that we have the capability that can enable our farmers to take advantage of our markets. Chairperson, the issue of energy is a challenge for the agricultural sector. It is for this reason that we have decided to form the Agro Energy Fund, where we are going to support our farmers to look at alternative technologies in terms of energy production so that they can support their enterprises. Large-scale farmers will receive about 30% grant funding to be matched with 70% loan portion. A medium-scale farmer will receive 50% grant and 50% portion, while the smallholder will be supported by a grant portion of 70%. It is our view, Chairperson, that this intervention will go some way in assisting us to resolve the challenges that we face as the overall government is looking at what it can do in order to ensure energy availability, not only for our citizens, but also our businesses. I would like to thank my deputy ministers, Deputy Minister Skwatsha, Papa, senior officials that are here, but most importantly, my chairperson of the portfolio committee, as well as the members of the committee who have always kept us on our toes in the work that we have to do. I thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Minister.
Honorable members, Siyakuba, I would like now to recognize MJ Makwala, EFF.
Thank you, Mama Ngwenya. Siyanibulisa nonke lapha endlini. To this debate. Chairperson, the land reform program has since 1994 been characterized by policy incoherence, political zigzag, and administrative paralysis. The ruling ANC has never had any real intention to address the land question in this country. There is currently exists widespread agreement that land reform in South Africa has dismally failed and continue to fail to deliver the changes many hoped it would. Racially based dislocation and dispossession were central features of colonial conquest, and apartheid grand plan remain the key features of this failure to this very day. Chairperson, we are still sitting with unused land, which the department doesn't know what to do with it. Chairperson, to date, the department has not resolved the land claims launched by the December 1998 deadline. They have spent over 4.5 billion buying land from white farmers and giving people money instead of land. Most recently, the department has indicated that it needs 68 billion to settle the remaining 6,000 claims launched in 1998. I hope we are engaged on Mama Ngwe. The department still has no plans for small-scale farmers who are upcoming. These small farmers need funding, skills development, training in order for them to be fully operational to compete in a white dominant industry. We cannot support a budget which is still behind with land claims. This department has not produced any belief plans to fast track the land claims. How can you support a budget where it speaks about 3%? It speaks about taking 3% from white farmers to fund black upcoming businesses. This tells you straight that this department has no tangible plans for our black poor people. The department has further failed to provide much needed support to land claimants who have had their claims settled. Even if those ones you have passed the land claims, but still you are not supporting those people. The merge of the former Department of Agriculture and the former Department of Rural Development and Land Reform was expected to improve and streamline the delivery of services farmers and land reform beneficiaries. However, nothing has changed. The opposite seems to be true, as the merge of the two departments and a reconfiguration of the new structure does not seem to have taken into account the complexity of some of the programs that have not been combined into one. Failed state. House Chairperson, the amount of money spent by the department must force the ruling party to rethink its position, to expropriate without compensation as articulated by the EFF. In reality, the budget allocation to this department is not enough in light of the sectoral importance and challenges it faces. One of the reasons why we are rejecting the department. In reality, the budget allocation, Chairperson, in 2018, the economic freedom fighters called and tabled a motion for the amendment of Section 25 of the Constitution within the emphasis for the abolishment of private ownership of land and the transfer of the land as a whole to the people and the state to hold this land in custody on behalf of the people as the whole. The noble mission was fostered and frustrated by the ANC with the collaboration of its right-wing alliance led by the DA moonshot Western lobby groups. We are of a firm view that there is only one way out of this conundrum and policy policies, and that is to expropriate all South African land without compensation for equal redistribution. That's the only solution, Chairperson. It is the only way we can significantly alter the agriam, class structure, and power relationship of rural communities. We therefore cannot support the budget, which doesn't speak to land that still needs to be returned. We cannot support a budget speech that does not speak to small-scale farmers. We cannot support a budget who doesn't speak about poor black skills development programs. Our farmers that are there, Minister, they still to be equipped, supported by this department, but there are no clear plans of how this department will ever, in its entire duration of the sixth administration, will help and improve our upcoming farmers that are so disadvantaged by the white supremacy. You know, Minister, is that there are so many upcoming farmers that they need this department. They need this budget to speak to them, that it must be pro-poor. But the only way that you still need more money to go and buy the land that was stolen, that was taken from our forefathers. Let's go and amend Section 25. The economic freedom fighters reject this budget with its contesting its deserves. Amandla, thank you very much, Chairperson and honorable members.
Thanks very much, Honorable Magwala.